Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day number 152 of our updates for Ukraine. Following it tonight, we do have a special report that I think you're really going to appreciate. Yo, back at you there, Jeffrey Burnett. Thank you, sir, for being here. Thank you for all that you're doing. R. Period. He says, good evening, all glory to Ukraine. Slava Ukraina is how you would say it in the language. And then you respond by saying Geroim Slava, and glory to our heroes. So Kevin Sheffield first in the chat tonight. Don Gentilini doing his best impersonation of best impersonation of Lavrov. Okay, JDO. Yes, sir, brother. Hey, man. I'm getting ready for Ukraine. Everything is a green light go. Just waiting until the last couple of minutes here. I head to Virginia Thursday. The streams will be here and the updates, no problem. But I head to Virginia, and I'm speaking down there all weekend. So, yes, I'm wearing the 511 tactical gear. And actually tonight after the stream, and we are live 9:04 p.m. Eastern, 6:04 California, 4:04 Ukraine. I'll be running to the airport, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My daughter will be heading back to Mexicali, Mexico, to continue her Spanish education. So she's doing well, packing up, and got a very crazy flight schedule. So we'll be heading to Pittsburgh after the stream. Bob Piccarilli, God bless you, my friend. Now, I know a lot of you are interested in the auction. Let me just tell you this. Unbelievable what happened. Unbelievable. Am I going to tell you tonight? Just trust me, it's unbelievable. And it's not over yet. It's going to take the guys a couple of days, Pastor Kent, Luann, our team, to process it all. But it's shocking. I'll give you a hint. We're well north of $10,000 raised last night. How about that one? We're well north of 10,000 raised at an auction in Greenville, Pennsylvania last night. You're talking about some generous people. Bob Piccarilli, we had so much Christmas stuff. You know what? Piccarilli, you got 5 days to send in your donation. You did not attend the auction. Pastor Kent called and he said, you know what? Piccarilli is Mr. Christmas. Fact, Ray Haliga bought all the Christmas stuff because his wife is addicted to QVC. So she got her addiction out at our auction. So Ray, get ready. You're going to sell all the Christmas stuff to Bob and he's going to pay double the money. Piccarilli, you got 5 days to get your donation in. That's what you get for not attending the auction. I don't want to hear about Florida, vacation, retired. I'm putting the heat on Piccarilli. So Diana Tarleton, I also want to give a praise report for her, and we're going to jump right in. I know that her family has been under major health attack. I have been following it on Facebook. We're talking major, and God is being faithful, and her family is doing better. So anyway, the teas will come. I can tell you, though, there's my donation. Bring it on, Piccarilli. I can tell you guys north of 10K, but Pastor Kent and our team, we do not like to give the right number until we have the exact number to the penny. And as you know, all donations, 100% plus, go to Ukraine to support our work there. So that's where we're at, and that's where we have it. So the Lord bless you guys, and we are very thankful that you are here. Welcome to all of you, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and the expanding Reddit family. God bless you guys. Let's get right to it. So early this morning, I'm working in the office. I'm talking to Ukraine, trying to get some stuff ready for the trip to Virginia, and working on stuff for Ukraine, thinking about Finland, heading to Finland as well in August. And all of a sudden, my phone rings. I'm in my morning t-shirt with my American flag. I'm sipping on coffee. And it was the only moment that Zhenya could find some coverage. So we found the coverage. If you saw the title of the program tonight, we are going to get the full news update. Zhenya and I are talking about it, and I have some additional stuff that's unbelievable. But we're going to start tonight with an inside look at our Ukrainian refugee kids camp, where they're there right now, and something crazy happened today. Many of these kids are from the occupied territories. There are a lot of kids there from Lysychansk and Severodonetsk. You guys know they are fallen cities. Others from Kramatorsk, Kherson. They're from all over. And something crazy happened at the camp today, but I'll let Zhenya tell you about it. So this morning he calls me, and I think tonight this is where we're going to start.
What time is it? 6, 8, 8,
Hold
7
on.
p.m.?
Well, it's morning here, and I'm up doing a little work, and you give me a buzz and say, what's up?
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
No, wonderful. So I'm in my little t-shirt here, and now this one's not live because I got Zhenya here at the camp, or the village outside the camp. So we start week 2 of the camp, teenagers.
Yeah, it's the second week. It's the age, it's 14, 15, 16.
Okay. I know last night you watched a little bit of the auction, but you couldn't really watch it because what did you tell me the guy was saying?
We start from 55.
Well, I'm not going to give the results yet. Going to give them in a little while tonight. Hopefully tonight. I don't know. This is the morning, so I know the guys are still working through all the numbers. If not tonight, we'll give it tomorrow. It was extremely successful.
Oh, praise God.
Yeah, man. I won't hold you long. I know you're busy, but as we predicted, well, we didn't predict it. Well, we did, just not publicly. We should have, but we knew as soon as the grain deal was signed, they'd start shooting missiles.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, it's like it's like one more
exact,
time. Everybody, it's whole world needs to understand they love what country they love.
correct.
They have official business with.
Well, I told in the program that night the what are you going to dance for us? Nice. I told in the program that night that the one nation that had the most disappointing result was Turkey because Erdogan thought he was negotiating this great deal, and just a few hours later, of course, Russia's firing missiles. Now, I know just a little while ago we had some missiles come through Khmelnytsky, but praise God, air defense took them all down.
One missile were flying over our kids' camp.
All right,
Correct.
wait a second. The missile flew over the camp?
Yeah, I I could bet that it was airplane, but then I realized it was missile because it
Oh,
was recorded far from us. Everybody heard it and like I said, whoa, probably Ukrainian, like some military jet. But then I realized it was a missile,
well,
and I had
there was a big explosion in Khmelnytsky, but it fortunately the air defense took it down, and then it went to the ground and hit, but it missed. It missed.
yeah,
And
we
Zhenya,
heard.
I know you're at the camp, so you may not have seen it, but Russian news right now is saying that they had a glorious attack in Khmelnytsky, and they took out the weapons of the 777 that are being stored in Khmelnytsky. Did you see it?
This probably a half of the news, the truth from
Yes.
Russia, because yes, then and that and they're shooting, the satellites of Elon Musk from AK-47, and
Yes.
and everything like that, and they using, I just want to stop, because their news, like when you want to improve your imagination, you just, you may start reading that, this is like a fairy tales for adults who has not ability having critical mindset.
Correct. Well, right now, we try to laugh and smile, but the truth is missiles are flying over our kids at camp and striking in our region. Fortunately, we had some good defense today, but as well, seriously, we want to speak of, Kharkiv is non-stop being demolished. And Ukraine is making some good pushbacks. There are big battles in the east. Ukraine is doing well in the south. But of course, Russia is counterattacking. And then the other big thing today is Moldova came out, and we've been following Moldova for a few days, but Moldova came out and says, listen, we're actually afraid that Russia really is going to invade us. So fortunately, Ukraine a couple of days ago, Budanov said, if they attack you, we're coming. So this could escalate quickly, even beyond what we have now.
Yeah, like at this moment, yeah, surely I'm reading all the news and trying to follow everything, and the last this the last situation with the missile, we heard it, and then we heard explosion because it was like the near Donetsk, and we have in Khmelnytsky we have different places, and with the same name, let's say. So we heard one of the explosion in the camp. I don't know where it was, like exactly what was the place, but we heard all the camp. We heard it. So for us, it's like it's a kids camp, and it's the rock is flying over, and we can see it and hear it, and kids who've been like we had the kids from
Lysychansk.
Lysychansk,
Yeah.
yeah, Kramatorsk, Pervomaisk, and some more from Lugansk and Donetsk area. And by the way, you can see this is reality show. And
Yeah, let's
here,
do a reality show.
look, this is the Sasha's car. This is how we bring fresh spring water.
Bringing water to the camp. Oh, okay, yeah. Check it out.
Dima. Okay.
Okay, we've got clean water for the camp.
It's a mountain spring. It's very cold, and maybe I will send you the picture or video of that.
But that'll be great. I think when I come here in a few weeks, we'll drink some of that mountain spring water. Now, the other thing I want to see here is that vehicle. Now, this vehicle here is awesome. We've got a 4x4. Oh, yes. Всем привет. Привет, дорогой. Oh, folks, it doesn't get any better than this. Hey, Jacob. When I fly into Warsaw, I want him to pick me up in that car. Yes, there's our flag. Awesome. Спасибо всем. Oh, man. Awesome, brother. Well, we'll just say this, and I know you got to get to work, but listen, when you have kids at a camp that are trying to get some peace and missiles are flying over their head and you're hearing explosions, it just tells you the reality. Okay, now we're riding on it.
Just specially for you.
Oh, yes. No, it's special for everybody. Listen, they have no idea how Ukrainians roll.
Blue and yellow.
I see that. There's the flag, blue and yellow. Man, this was awesome. Yeah, I'm just sitting here in the studio working. Next thing I know, he buzzes me and he's there on top of the mountain.
Okay.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. I need to go to the camp, and the road will be kind of very special, and we may try. I mean, to stream it.
Well,
maybe it will work.
Okay, here's the deal. If y'all get stuck, all you've got to do is unload the car with those guys, and everybody can get out and just pick the car up and carry it down the hill. No problem.
Yeah, like close to that.
Yeah, that monster 4x4.
Okay, let's try.
If I lose you, I lose you. Folks, we are taking you inside the camp. This will be 7:16 p.m. Ukraine time. See the sun shining? Let me tell you something. That is a crew right there. You know what? Y'all get a cheer.
It was the heart.
Yeah, that's the heart.
I'm doing it fast.
Well, can the boys in the back do the heart? Do they have a heart?
Окей, можете сердечко сделать руками?
No. Okay, man. Okay. There you go. You know what? That was not worthy of a cheer. We had one little hand.
Дадим туда сердечко, давай.
Da, spasiba.
Okay. I'm not sure you understand the angle of it.
I do. I've been down that road. It's straight downhill. I don't know how we're hanging on to this signal, but we still are. But you think about this for a moment while we just watch a little bit of this. These kids are coming, many of them from cities that are now occupied by Russia. These kids sat in basements for months listening to shelling. And now from that, they are in this remote location for camp. Unfortunately, they had missiles flying over their head this morning, but they're safe and can't escape the sounds of war even in the middle of nowhere. But they are getting this joy. We got back. We're recording. Everything's good. And bam, there we are at the camp. Oh my goodness. Come on, phone. Hang in there. Wow.
Скажіть привіт. Друзі.
Hello. Добро пожаловать.
I will give you just to see how it looks like.
Yes. There it is. Beautiful. Awesome. Well, folks, there you have it. Thank you for everything. We will continue to support and love. All right, buddy. We love you. Y'all have fun.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
And look.
Well, if you keep walking around, I'm going to look. Okay, we've got food. Hey, man, let me. Oh, man, vegetables. That is hey, that's a high quality trailer there.
Yeah.
Love it. Man, this is what we're doing, folks. This is reality.
Okay.
Hey, that was my chair. Hello. Добро пожаловать. Всем привет. Hey, put my name on that chair behind you.
Got it.
The brown one. That's my name, my chair. Oh man.
It's meat.
I see it's meat. How do we have power at the river?
Okay, you had to remember it.
I do remember. I know the answer. I want you to tell people.
Okay, 2018. I've been once in United States. So you were gathering the offering for our camp, for the project of solar generation system with the solar panels and the batteries and inverters, and it's still there. This time we a little bit hiding it, so it's installed a little bit the wrong way, but in reality it still works.
Man. Hey, in all seriousness though, keep that thing hidden, because if they're running spy satellites and they see solar down there in the middle of that, hello. Keep that crap. Keep that stuff hidden.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
We love you.
Here is some.
Hey, and put my name on that chair. I'll be there. All right. Bye-bye.
I will. Bye. And Greg?
Yeah.
Do you remember the story of the boy?
He wouldn't go away, folks. He won't go away. I'm trying to get him to go away. No, tell us the story.
Okay.
Early in the war,
Okay.
we helped with this family.
Anya and their son Yarik.
Yes,
Yaroslav.
Yaroslav. Ah, Silny Malchik. So, what was the story
So
there?
to make it short,
Yeah,
4 days before the war, let's say, young mother decided to refuge her son, newborn son, 4 years, 4 days
old.
old, 4
Mm-hmm.
days, and it was 4 days before the war. So the only thing she agreed with, they asked her at least to take out of the delivery house. And they took it on their hands, and then the war started. They couldn't register it, couldn't adopt it, and because of that, they couldn't leave the country. They had to send their two other sons out of Ukraine with grandma, and they couldn't leave the country. And they had to go through all of that month and month with no documents. All of that time we were supporting them with everything they needed, the money, diapers, food, everything.
Didn't we help them
And
financially
yeah,
to get through that?
to go, and yes, all the time, all of this month. And when it was important moment, they needed amount of money to go through the process of the adaptation, and they didn't have it. Your church sent this offering to that family, and it covered everything. So
And there
just
we
a
see
week ago,
Yaroslav.
the court made decision for like permitting to adopt this child.
Out of a war, good stories do happen. Some of the good stories are the things that we're doing together. So, and all around you right
Yeah,
now at the camp is not a good story. It's a great story. So, hopefully, no more missiles flying, and keep that solar covered up, buddy.
yeah.
Because if
Thank
not, I know the guys in the stream tonight that are military, if they see those solar panels, they're going to go, well, that's awesome, but don't show them. So
Okay, we do the best. Let's say.
we do the best.
Okay,
That's for sure. All right, buddy. We love you.
bye.
Baka. There you have it, folks. That was quite an adventure. 20 minutes, well worth your time to see where the investment is going. And you can see it's a well-oiled machine. I even predicted this morning when we recorded that somebody in the chat would say, watch the reflection. Ricochet? Gotcha. I knew it. I said, them boys are going to say, oh man, make sure they don't see that solar. So they're on it. They're on it. But it's awesome. So once again, guys, thank you. And as far as the auction goes, yes, we are north of 10K. And we will, that's US dollars, not hryvnia. We will update you later in the week. Exactly. All right, here we go. Let's get to it. And a few things that I want to jump to tonight, not that one. Few things I want to jump to tonight. And the first thing we're going to talk about, let me move one thing over here, is actually curfew. They have gotten extremely strong on the curfew now because, as you saw in the chat, if you're watching on YouTube, and I really encourage you guys that watch on Facebook to bump over to YouTube. The chat's great in there, and it's just a much better experience. But with that said, a lot of activity is happening in the west of Ukraine, military-wise. There was some crazy stuff going on in Western Ukraine today. And you heard directly from Zhenya and our camp. And, I don't want to put on the air where it's at, but we know it's along one of the rivers there. And cruise missiles are flying over these kids' heads, and they're hearing the explosions. And I know where it hit. That one was hit, but then when it came down, it did strike and explode and go off and cause damage, but it did not hit its target. So it was not that far from them once I started looking where the hits were. So it is quite dangerous. So Kyiv came out today and said, listen, we are at a very strategic time in this war. Our city, Kharkiv, is being demolished. Kherson, we're making some good pushes. Our west is crazy. We never know what's going to happen in Kyiv. They're more and more calling for a regime change. They are openly talking about taking out President Zelensky. It's open communication. And our guys are battling so strong in the east. Please obey the curfew. If you do not, it's going to be bad news for you. So Ukraine has really turned the heat up on their curfews. Now, folks, second little video clip I want to show you tonight, and I want to remind you that this war is about people. I've talked from the beginning, day one, that it's an economic war, that it's biblical proportion, that this is the potential opening days of World War III. And we'll talk about a couple of other nations in just a few moments. But I want you to remember that regardless, I think there's an old song that we sang in Sunday school, Jesus loves all the little children of the world, red and yellow, white and black, green and, man, I done forgot all my songs. They are all precious in his sight. So I want to show you one thing. Please be careful of when you're talking to people. How can I best say this? There are good people everywhere. And there are good people in Russia. And some of my Ukrainian friends, I have to get on them a little bit sometimes because, you know, when your nation's being bombarded like that, it's easy just to throw a blanket out there. It's very similar for many Americans. To be quite honest, I'll make one example here. Our southern border is a disaster. It's extremely difficult. But that doesn't mean that all Mexicans and those from Latin America or South America trying to come across are horrible people. They're evil. We just have broken systems. So even in other nations, there's good people. The reason I highlight this is about people. And that is why we're so committed. That's why we're nonstop. And to be honest with you, that's why I'm getting on an airplane here in a few weeks. And I'm going into Ukraine because, yes, we can give money. And we're doing a phenomenal job at that. And you're watching it every day. And you can feel comfortable to donate and to give because you know if we're not credible after 152 days, then go find some other place. But I think we've proven it. Not that we set out to prove it, but it's vital, especially when you build a community and you really don't know others, or you're from a different country or a different state. And you say, man, I don't know if I trust these people or not. Well, I think we've built that trust and you've helped to share it. So what's the next level? I'm going to put some feet on the ground. I'm going to carry the love there. I'm going to walk into their homes and just to tell them we love them. Pass out a chicken, do whatever, just to let them know that it's not just words, it's not just money, and it's not just videos. And this is how deep it goes. They would do the same for us, I promise you. Point blank. So remember, it's people. I get to the crux of the message. Not all Russians are bad. There's a lot of wonderful Russians that are friends that I love very much. Family members that I love very much. And today, there was some video released of earlier in the war of some Russians that were fighting for Ukraine. And this video just came. It was a few months ago, but the story's real. And what I want you to know is there's actually a lot of Russians, not just the freedom forces. I've taught you about that, but there's a lot of Russians that are just helping. And this father lost his two sons on the battlefield.
Было 24, Леониду 21. Почти месяц братьев Бутусиных считали без вести пропавшими.
Они были вместе и в один день погибли. И рядом лежали.
Как вы об этом узнали вообще?
Я их нашел сам. Я зашел в это село и нашел. Бронежилеты их были пробиты. И сами они были все в пулеохранениях. И Короче, они дрались до последнего.
В Украине семья Бутусиных живет уже 8 лет. Все они родом из России. Уехали после того, как Кремль аннексировал Крым и развязал войну на Донбассе. Попрощаться с братьями Бутусиными пришли тысячи людей. Погибших военных украинцы провожали, стоя на коленях. Похоронили Романа и Леонида рядом на аллее Героев в городе Калуша. Их отец, Олег Бутусин, вскоре вернется на передовую и продолжит воевать уже без сыновей.
Слава Украине!
And there you have it. That's a story. Russian family. They left after the annexation of Crimea. They moved to Ukraine, and now they're fighting in the war. This family lost their 2 sons. The father goes back to battle. That's just the story of people. And folks, this is why we do what we do. Now, a few other things. Earlier, I was talking that we're on the potential precipice, on the edge here of World War III. If you've been watching your American news, and this does connect, and I'm going to show you how it connects tonight. We know the rumblings are there for Nancy Pelosi making a trip to Taiwan. White House says they're not going to authorize it, or they're not going to support it, or be behind it, or whatever rhetoric they're using. But she says, you know, she's still going. She was supposed to go in April, couldn't go. Now looking to go in early August. China says if Pelosi shows up in Taiwan, it's going to be bad news for Taiwan. It's going to be bad news for the United States. There, that's the story. Now, how does that connect to Ukraine? Well, this is what I want to show you. You see on the map there, and we went over this a few times. And what's really interesting, I don't know, 2 hours ago, I just got off the phone with my friend from Karachi, Pakistan. He's actually in Florida right now for a meeting. He FaceTimed me. We were talking, and he wanted, as a Pakistani, to let Ukraine know that Pakistan, real Pakistani people, love and respect and give their best wishes and prayers for Ukraine. So I passed that message on from Pakistan. But being in Pakistan, I was there with him. I've told you guys about the Silk Road. So just look at the map, and I want to share a couple of things why we're so close to the next level of war. And yes, China, Iran, Turkey, and the United States will be like, I'm trying to find the right word. I almost want to use the word instigator. That's the word I want to use. And I promise you folks, the picture of Ronald Reagan's on my wall. I bleed red, white, and blue, but it's just, there's some goofy decisions being made in our foreign policy right now that can instigate World War III in a New York minute. Now, on the far right of that map, you see a red circle. That is the city of Beijing. On the far left at the top, you see a red circle. That is where Moscow is located. This map shows you the red being land quarters for the new Silk Road, the blue being shipping quarters for the new Silk Road, and the yellow in Africa being train routes. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I have physically laid my eyes and driven on the Silk Road through Pakistan that China has built out of China through Pakistan to Karachi. I've been on it. It's incredible highway. Secondly, up north of Islamabad, that road splits and goes through Afghanistan. And of course, then it starts to head west, heading toward, as you see, ultimately Moscow, and then on to Europe. Now, orange railroad lines going north through Kazakhstan and through Mongolia and into Russia. Where are they all going? Moscow. China is trying to tell the message that they're not building the new Silk Road and they're not trying to do this. But let me tell you something. Number one, my eyeballs and my feet have walked, seen, and rode on it in Pakistan. Period. Now, that's the yellow arrow. Go to the green arrow. Where is the green arrow pointing? Well, it's pointing to the nation of Tanzania. Yes, I've seen the Chinese work in Tanzania, and it didn't even dawn on me until I was studying this graphic today to share. I was in Dar es Salaam many times, and I'm planning to be back in Tanzania. We were supposed to have our Tanzanian guy, Barings Mambia, here, but he had documenting problems with visas. So we have big work in Tanzania, and I want to get to Tanzania hopefully later this year. But in Dar es Salaam, there is a new train being built that is going to go to Dodoma and then out through western Tanzania and across all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. We were in Dar es Salaam, Justin and I, my buddy, and our bishop, Barings Mambia, we're riding around, and I'm riding around with Michael Peter, guys I know, and we come by this new construction project with a brand new train track, and I mean gorgeous. Now, folks, unless you've been in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, you got to trust me on this one. We're talking incredibly poor. Now, it's a very large city. And Dar es Salaam means port of peace, but it's hot, it's dirty, and it's poor. There are no new trains. In fact, there's really no trains in the whole nation. Brand new train. And then, out of the blue, it dawned on me this afternoon. Barings and Michael Peter looked at me and said, Chinese are building this railroad. And they're building it to Dodoma, and then from Dodoma over through western Tanzania all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. It never dawned on me what it was really about. Now, I understand. It's the Silk Road, just on the rails through Africa. Now, why? Because there's so many resources there. But the point being, do not believe anything you see about China not being in relationship with Moscow, economic, military-wise, Silk Road, transport of goods, economic working together, because I have seen it. It's there, and the roads lead to Moscow. So there is your update. China stays at the forefront of global picture on the edge of World War III, and I saw that message there from Jeff. I agree. It's sand in the oyster there. Now, fourth thing, this is the region where a lot of activity. You see the blue circles and the red circles. Red circles are where Ukraine was struck today, of course, starting in the right, Kharkiv, down into the hot zone there with Slavyansk, Kramatorsk. Coming around, Zaporozhye was struck today, and just before going on air, and we are live, 9:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Nikopol is under major attack right now. Over to the far left, that's the area where Zhenya is, but this is the region where the missiles were flying today over our camps as well. All through that western region today, it was very active in the skies. Basically everything left of that red circle. Now, I have two blue circles there. Why? Because today, Ukraine struck two major supply lines and warehouses. One south of Kherson, blue circle in the middle, and over to the right, one right behind the city of Donetsk. Huge, struck and destroyed. So we have some good news there. Now, Lavrov and Odessa maybe you have seen this, maybe not, probably not, but he came out, made a couple of statements. As you know, the grain deal, what a joke, and I'm going to take it to the next level in just a moment. But Lavrov did come out, and he made a statement about that, and here it is.
Про вот эпизод, о котором вы упомянули, который произошел в Одессе, нет ничего в обязательствах, которые Россия взяла на себя, в том числе в рамках подписанных 22 июля в Стамбуле соглашений, что запрещало бы нам продолжать специальную военную операцию, уничтожая военную инфраструктуру и другие военные цели.
So you see what he says. So technically, the agreement in Istanbul does allow Russia to strike military targets, technically. But you have the spirit of the agreement and the law of the agreement. The law of the agreement is, was there anything in the agreement about Russia striking military targets? No, there was not, technically. But the ink is not even dry. You have the spirit, the goodwill of the agreement. And you can see it's just manipulation, power of the words. And do we trust that it's going to continue to unfold this way? Why can't we trust Russia hitting military targets? How many videos and pictures do you want me to show you for the next 12 hours of civilians being destroyed? That is why. Now, I want you to think about something last night. This is an update today as of 9 p.m. Ukraine time. July the 25th, 9 p.m. Ukraine time. This would have been 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time. This is the amount of time that these regions have spent under air raid warnings. And the reason I share this with you is for one reason. A couple of days ago, a fire truck went by my house. And I think for some reason the horn was turned my way or whatever, but the siren was extremely loud. And I can remember myself going, oh my goodness, whew, how loud is that fire siren? Then the thought dawned on me. What about these air raid sirens that all over Ukraine are happening and people have to listen to nonstop? So how much time has been spent in 152 days? I'll just give you a couple of examples. In our home region, if you combine the time, it's 7 days, 20 hours, and 24 minutes. We can jump all the way up to a couple that we know very well. Donetsk region, 22 days, 14 hours, 56 minutes. Kharkiv, 32 days, 22 hours, 38 minutes. And folks, this war's been going 152 days. And Lugansk region has been under air raid warnings for 115 days, 5 hours, and 38 minutes. That is the time it's been ringing. Could you imagine the torture that you live under? You know, next time that fire truck or police car goes down the road, I'm going to try not to complain about hearing that siren. Now, Melitopol. We followed Melitopol. Mayor Ivan Fedorov. You can see Melitopol there in the center of the map. Ivan Fedorov put out fresh information today. Melitopol is a city of about 150,000 people normally. And today, Ivan Fedorov was able to get out information. He is the mayor, but he's out of power. But he's still the mayor because the territory is just occupied. It's Ukrainian ground. So Ukraine recognizes their mayor. And yes, he's still there. He's already been kidnapped once, but he put out new information today. And here it is. 50,000 citizens remain in the city of Melitopol. From 150 to 50. That's how many have gotten out. While the share of collaborators, he reports that 5% of people of the 50,000, 2,500, are loyal to Russia. 47,500, his numbers, 47,500, 5%, 10%, 5, 25, boom. Yeah, my number's right. 2,500 out of the 50,000. About 80% of the city's residents are left without work, no income, and they live on their savings, of which for most of them there's nothing. Thirdly, there's been no gas supply for the last 2 weeks due to the damage to gas pipeline due to hostilities. This is today's update from Melitopol, and it's occupied. And then finally, the enemy controls completely now all of the city's power grid divisions. So what does that mean? Melitopol is completely fallen. Finally, the last thing I want to give tonight is here is the entire problem with this war summed up in one slide. One last time, we're going to talk about the grain agreement, unless we get new updates on it or something crazy happens. But today, President Erdogan, the great negotiator who has egg on his face, calls on both sides to respect the Istanbul grain agreement. Put the little guy down there with the question mark, and in quotation marks, my words, this is the entire problem with this war. Mr. Erdogan, with all due respect as the president of Turkey, may God bless you, but you are wrong. 100% wrong. Why? Because Ukraine did not break the grain agreement. Ukraine did not fire missiles at their port. Within hours of the grain agreement being signed, whether by the letter of the law or the spirit of it, Russia broke it. They fired at the port of Odessa. So, sir, and guys, you can look this up. Go Google it. Go to BBC. Go to Al Jazeera. Go to Turkish News. Erdogan called today for both sides to respect. Sir, wrong. You should have called out Russia and said, Russia, you need to respect. Putin, you need to respect the agreement. Why do we keep trying to put the blame or the onus on both sides? Ukraine did not attack Russia. Russia attacked Ukraine. Ukraine is not destroying Russian infrastructure. Russia is destroying Ukrainian infrastructure. Ukraine is not stealing Russian ground, grain, and metal. Russia is stealing Ukrainian ground, metal, and grain. Therefore, President of Turkey, Mr. Humpty Dumpty sitting on the wall, that's my understanding of Turkey right now, you are the problem with this war. Stand up, mister. We're going to have the #1 army in the world, and tell Russia to stop it and stop trying to ride the fence and call it on both nations. What a very weak, spineless statement to make, Mr. President. God bless you there in Turkey tonight. There you have it. Whew. Sorry, but man, when I watch those kids in that camp, and then Genius telling me that missiles are flying over their head and they're hearing explosions, and then this guy, Mr. Erdogan, the president of Turkey, comes out and says both sides need to respect the agreement. No, sir. Russia needs to respect the agreement. They broke it, not Ukraine. That's where we're at. You are now updated fully, day 152. The war in Ukraine, and what a beautiful look at where our support is going, where your support is going, and what a community. May the Lord bless you guys tonight, and may the Lord have peace upon you and Ukraine. We will see you in 23 hours. Thank you for all of your support. God bless you. Good night.